Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl, Molinda Jae, and I'm here to do a continuation of the hair tales going that happened on as well as Hulu. Now, I know it's been like 2 weeks, I think, since it ended, but work was tying me up, y'all. That'll be a whole nother video on what the heck what I was I doing, or a live update, something like that, something in that realm. But let's go ahead and get into it. So with this fifth episode, we had Marsai Martin, and the theme of her hair tales was freedom's era. Rightfully so. Now, who is Marsai Martin? Marsai Martin is an actor. She is, or actress. I'm gonna say actress because she is a young lady, right? She is the CEO of a production company. I want to say it's either Mari Productions Company or Genius Production Company. Either or, she is a CEO. Like, she is in her boss feminine energy, okay? And she also works, well, not only does she works with full time as a CEO, but also she goes to school at the same dang time. Now, if I'm not mistaken, she just turned 18 this year, so I believe she's already graduated high school already. By the time she was recording this series, she was graduating high school. So, I won't be too surprised if she went to a 4 year college or a community college. I hope she went to a community college because 4 year colleges are about to be extinct. Yes, I said it. I said what I said. I meant what I said. 4 year college is about to be extinct. You heard it here first. Okay, so with her mother, they asked the question. Oh yes, and with this episode, she was joined by Miss Angela Davis. So not only Tracy Ellis Ross was interviewing her, but also she was joined by Miss Angela Davis. Now, the question that was asked was who did her hair, and her mother did her hair. And she, one, never had a perm in her entire life. And I have to say kudos to her for real, because you would think, if you were a patron of watching Blackish, that she had permed her hair. But of course, when you permed your hair for so long, you tend to forget about doing the hair press, to help straighten your hair, and then you will do, or well, then you will associate it with some other hairstyling products to slick your hair down, like some gel or a good moisturizer that helps slick the hair down to where it looks like it's being perm, but is not perm. It's more like a good old silk press, right? And then add on a couple more products to have that slick down effect. So, wow. She also grew up in a multi generational home, which was based. A multi generational home is basically a household that has the nuclear family, like the mother, father, and the kids, and then with an extension of the grandparents, whether it's on the maternal side or paternal side or both of them, that becomes a multi-generational home. From what I've seen as I grew up, yes, us black people, we used to do that. We need to get back to it. That'll be a whole nother video in itself. However, in this today's client, in this today's climate, I see Asians and Latino, or the Latinx community, that has been doing it for like centuries and centuries. Okay. So, yes, that'll be a whole nother video itself, explaining multi-generational homes and how we need to just go ahead and get back into that mold, because uh, we come into a time more than ever where people are basically being in that entitlement mode where they feel like they don't need anybody. But we all need somebody to lean on, and what good support to have is with your family, healthy one, a healthy family, right? When I mean by healthy family, I mean by not having those toxic traits and characteristics to where it can linger on and pass down for generations and generations to come. Again, that'll be a whole nother video. But yes, she grew up in a multi-generational home, and her hair was always in curls 24/7. So I was like, ah. And when they showed the pictures of her from back in the day till now, and how just out loud her hair was, I was like, I'm getting into my astrology mode. But I'm like, dang, she has the hair type of a Leo. And what I mean by that, majority of the time you can scope out a Leo, a person that has a Leo placement or a Leo sun sign just by looking at their hair. If it's more like ba boom vacious, like a lion in their mane, then you can tell that to some aspects that they are a Leo. You could tell by their hair if they haven't cut it off already. But you can tell by either the hair or the personality if a person has a Leo sun sign or a prominent Leo placement in their chart. But that's another whole nother video, right? So, also going on now, my overall thoughts of this whole entire episode when it comes to Angela Davis and Miss Tracy Ellis Ross interviewing Marsai Martin when it comes to her hair journey. A couple of topics that came out that stood out to me was growing up in the Barbie doll era, even though it was in the segment of the hairstylist and the client talk about her hair tales in a little snippet in regards to how, you know, each time that she would come across a Barbie doll or when she was playing with Barbie dolls, she would think her hair would be the same as Barbie dolls, and that would not be the case. So, and all in a nutshell, what was discussed was every black girl's struggle of acceptance of self, especially when it comes to their hair. And this was in regards to her. She would, and she used to attend a white prominent school in her younger years, and she would see the white girls or the Caucasian girls just take water and slick their hair down and go about their business. And I could get that because I grew up in a white prominent school as well. And but I don't think I did to the effect that she did. But how she explained it was she since their hair did it, she thought her hair could do it. And so she had asked her mom to straighten her hair one day, and her mother had explained to her, she had gave her a warning like, hey, I know you want your hair straightened, but I'm telling you now, do not do nothing to it because it's going to not turn out the way you think it's going to be. And so she went on into school and she did what the folks in this complexion did, right? And by the time she went back outside and recess and playing, her friend was like, oh my gosh, what's going on with your hair? Basically, she used the water method thinking her hair is going to slick down like the white girls. And about a couple of hours later, her hair was like poof, basically. And so that caused like a pivotal moment for her in regards to like my hair is not interacting like the other girl's hair. It gave her a reality check basically. And with her younger sister being born, the thought when her sister was born was, is her hair going to be the same way, or what type of hair texture her hair is going to be, right? So, all in a nutshell, when it comes to the struggle of a black girl, when it comes to their hair and their self acceptance, the great thing that came out of her scenario is that her parents allowed her to find her own way, despite of what everything that had transpired in that episode, and the fact that that episode happened to her at school, and she went home and her mom was like, oh my gosh, what happened to your hair? It gave the sense of, instead of her mom yelling at her, she just simply pulled her to the side, or just simply just gave her a good one-on-one caring parent conversation to her, and just explain to her why her hair is not going to react just like how the other girl's hair would. So I did appreciate that aspect of her mom doing that. Now, other topics that stood out to me with her hair tales was the hair industry, well, the occupation that she's in, and how there's not enough hair and makeup stylists when it comes to melanated people. And when it comes to that portion, yes, there may be a good amount of hairstylists and makeup artists, but it takes a special person that would be able to not only create these beautiful hairstyles, but also maintain the hair care aspect of those hairstyles. Same goes with the makeup, having the right shade, foundation, seeing what colors fit the skin tone, because those play a factor as well as what outfit you're wearing, because that also determines the factor of what color lipstick you want to wear, what color eyeshadow you want to wear, what hairstyle do you want to wear that's not going to clash with the outfit. And there's a whole different types of elements in regards to um, styling a melanated person. So the fact that there's not still not enough people within the industry that will help assist styling and caring for the hair as well as the face, because whenever you put makeup on, you're clogging the pores with the products that you put on your face to enhance your features, right? Because that's what makeup is for. It's for enhancement. It's not to replace the natural features of yourself. Okay. And then because what she had explained when it comes to doing her hair in regards to the roles that she played, not only there's lack of hairstylists and makeup artists, but also the heat damage with the flat ironing with the silk press to be able to maintain to refrain from her not getting a perm, because as she stated before, she never got a perm in her entire life. And also she was a big fan of the large bonnet, so so yes, there is a such thing as an extra large bonnet. And I own one of the a large hair bonnet too, because I used to, before I locked my hair, i did I did use the big hair bonnet when I had those long twists and long braids, and the list goes on. And then she also brought up the factor of a father's love and his attempting to lay her baby hair down during a hot summer day. And you just got to love fathers who tend to their children the best way they can, even though it seems out of the norm for them. So the fact that he helped, assisted, and tried, I'll give him an A for effort type of deal of laying his baby girl hair down, laying his baby girl edges down, baby hairs. You get an A for effort from me, okay? Other things that were addressed was she talked about addressing the hair episode on Blackish, which in my opinion that was one of my favorite episodes in the Blackish series, because it was basically a universal story of a black girl's hair experience, going to the hair salon, figuring out who and what hairstylist is going to do their hair, that's going to provide the excellent care for their hair to maintain the healthiness of the hair, as well as what hairstyle they want to have that is going to stay that way for the next week or 2 weeks or so, just depending on how your hair will uphold the hairstyle. And basically, it was it it was very pivotal for her in that aspect, because there were some aspects within that episode, and I'm pretty sure of other episodes, that she wanted to say something to the producers, but not be offensive or not come across as arrogant, so to speak. So it was basically with that Blackish episode to be not only be herself, but don't be afraid of who you are. And also, when it came to that daydreaming factor, she had, even though the character that she portrays on Blackish had a relaxer all those years, and she decided to not have it in that episode due to the daydreaming aspect feature within that episode. It just shows again the universal story of a black girl's hair experience of going to the salon and figure out what hairstyle uh in their do they want within their hair journey. Because when you look back of all the hairstyles that you went through or have had within your own hair journey, it does send you back of what was going on at that time, who was influencing me at that time, and what was my state of mind at that time. Okay. And then of course that does segue into having a seat at the table, creating your own table. And as explained in the previous point, that even though she was a child at the time and she had some opinions about some aspects within the episode about her character, she wanted to be able to come to the producers and the writers without being offensive. Okay, so that's where Tracy comes into play as a surrogate mom. After this episode, well, after her explaining her hair journey within this episode, you can tell that Tracy Ellis Ross is like her surrogate mom when her mom is not there in the room with her. And I'm pretty sure her mom is like within close arm length arm length away from her. But you could tell within this episode that Tracy has a considers her as another daughter or another granddaughter of hers. And so Tracy is basically a surrogate to her when it comes to the producers and getting them, if she's having a hard time explaining what she would like to get out of the character, and that's when Tracy will come in and smooth things over in the best way, shape, or form to the producers slash the writer. Okay, so that's what will happen at that end. And far as like creating your own, that's what led her to creating her own production company, so she can be able to have her own voice and have her own seat at a table. And if she wants to invite people to come to her table, it wouldn't be so much of a hassle, right? Uh, Basically, like the Tyler Perry and the Oprah Winfrey route, creating your own table. And that's for us black people, that's what we need to continue doing, creating our own table so we can feel welcome in our own space, because it doesn't do us any justice to keep trying to shout out from the mountaintops to feel accepted wherever we are not accepted from. So that goes for beauty supply stores. We need to go back to owning our own beauty supply stores, because whenever you go to most beauty supply stores, yes, the Asians uphold those the beauty market, and supplying the things that we need and stuff. But that to that aspect, that stems from a person showing one individual the process of how they make the products, distribute the products, and more. And that's what led them to get on the train so they can be able to get money and be lucrative in that field as well. So we need to have the capability to take our industry back, because we are the number one consumers when it comes to the hair and beauty industry. And you might as well say every other industry as well. We are the number one consumers, y'all. So it is important for us to be able to maintain and get to a point where we are standing in our own power and creating our own business or our own table, so we can be able to bring others to the table if when needed. Okay, so and that same goes for cosmetology school, y'all. In cosmetology school, the only reason why I didn't go, because of the circumstances that I was in at the time. And plus, they don't have texture studies in cosmetology school. I went to some, you have to go to like a black beauty school to learn about texturized hair. But with me, I want to learn about everybody's texture of hair, because if somebody come to me and they were like, hey, I want to get my hair done, or I want to get my hair braided, like I want to be able to service them the best way possible. So until we get to a point where, especially in the beauty industry, to where we are able to not only own our own business and supply the beauty supplies that we consume, right? As well as studying the cosmetology aspect of texturized hair and have that incorporated in cosmetology school curriculum, then we can go somewhere, right? Because everybody's hair does not operate as the folks on this shade of spectrum, right? Like, come on now. And our hair does not react and operate just like everyone else's hair. So, hence, that's why we do these protective hairstyles, because not only we want to save time, but also we want to save our dang hair as well from any damage as possible. Okay, so let's see what else. They asked her about her favorite hairstyle, and she said even though she is a busy young lady with work and puts her hair in protective hairstyles, when her she loves it when her hair is out. And then that's when she explained she was a Leo. So I was like, hey, I kind of pinpoint that out whenever they showed the smaller, the pictures of her when she was smaller, and then with the hair curls, and it was just her hair is just like a lion's mane. It's just boom, okay, vivacious. But also finally, the one of the things, the last thing that they mentioned was paying homage to the generations before. So because that is important. It is important to still continue to pay homage or just show some sort of gratitude to the generations before us, because without them sacrificing their labor, their time, their effort into breaking ground, breaking barriers for us, we probably would have still been in the same magnitude that they're in. To some aspects, we are still in that type of environment. It's just creatively, how should I say it, is creatively programmed to where we think we're not in that space anymore. But I'm here to tell you, we're still in that space. It's just creatively programmed, done. Okay. But it is important for us to still continue to show gratitude because what they've done before, we don't have to necessarily worry about in that magnitude of what they went through back then. And then finally, they had asked her about what is her plan, and I'm glad she answered this in the best way she did, and it's the best answer. And this is basically how everybody should answer it at this point. What are your plans? When somebody asks you, what are your plans? Just say, just continue to remain in the present because that's what she said. I'm going to continue to remain in the present because things can change unexpectedly. And also, the fact that if you keep setting your expectations and they don't happen the way you think they will happen, then it could lead some disappointment in the meantime or on along the way. But at the same time, from now on, and this is the answer that I do give them as well. Whenever people ask me, so what are your plans next? What are you going to do next? At this point, you don't tell nobody what you're going to do next, okay? In this day and age, you don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody what you're gonna do next. You don't tell nobody what you're gonna do next until it is halfway done or it's about to happen, okay? Because you got people out here, stealing and making it in their own, all right? So making it to their own and claiming it is theirs, all right? So and also not basically giving credit where credit is not due, so to speak. So just continue to move in silence, stay in the present, right? And then as time begins to unfold, then you can continue to unveil what you're doing within the next week, the next 2 months, and so on, so forth, and so on. But at this point, at this day and age, you don't need to put a date on what are your plans in the next 5 years? What are your plans in the next 10 years? 2 years? Blah, blah, blah. Because things change unexpectedly, and it's just how you proceed on is the key factor. So that is my thoughts on Miss Marsai Martin. It was a great interview with her, especially at her age. It's a breath of fresh air to see young people doing big things out here. And we should follow suit and continue to support them any way possible. But other than that, that concludes my breakdown or my review of Marsai Martin's The Hair Tales. Be sure to check it out on OWN or on Hulu because it's already showing on Hulu. And stay tuned for Chloe Bailey review is coming up, and yes, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video. Plus, all my social media links will be in the description box below, or just scan the QR code at the end of the video. And let me see what else. Oh yeah, shop my merch. Yeah, shop my merch, the Soul Child merch. Okay, I think I got, yeah. There's a 10% deal coming on going on right now. I may do a little. I may do another big coupon, another big discount since we're closer to the holidays, the Christmas holidays. I don't know. But yeah, please be sure to leave your comments down below in the comment section. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And always remember to love thyself, know thyself, sue thyself so you can heal thyself. Bye, you guys.